But like in theory, if someone were a billionaire and they had like all this money, why wouldn't they just buy more of the thing they liked instead of dumping the thing they liked? Like if Bezos bought shares in Amazon, would you be pissed off? If Apple does a stock buyback and they buy more of their own shares in their company back from the public, which is a way to turn earnings into yield for the shareholders, do you get mad and yell at Apple? And so we had to come up with a word for this fan fiction fantasy, which is the opposite of a rug pull, called a magic carpet ride. And so if you're worried about risk of a rug pull, what weighted value have you given the risk of a magic carpet ride? And it's just hilarious to me.
Hey everybody, and welcome back. Woohoo! We're going to be talking about Trump's shock and awe, Bitcoin, of course, Pulsechain, and TitanX ecosystem. So I hope you guys enjoy the content today. Obviously, we're going to kick off at the stock market, see how that went overnight. So I hope you guys enjoy. Get into the chat there, make it lively, as we say. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let's kick straight into the show, and we're going to add in the stock market there. So we had the stock market ticking away. S&P 500 ends higher on upbeat earnings, so that's really exciting. Easing trade wars, are really just part of Trump's tactics to reorder things. And we got the Dow Jones there up 0.33%, which is pretty cool, 134 points to 44,556 on the index. S&P 500 at 0.7%, 43 points to 6,037. So we're back over 6,000. That's really cool to see. NASDAQ up 1.25%, let's say, and that's 262 points to 19,654. So looking pretty good there on the old indices. Let's have a look at the max chart on the old NASDAQ and see what that's looking like. Still looking very good. Look at that right at the top. Pretty awesome. We got the US dollar is at 107.84. We're going to keep track of that because of the Trump tactics in terms of reorganizing stuff in the globe. That's down 1% at the moment, so keep an eye on that one. Commodities, we got Brent, West Texas and Brent oil at $72.60 and $76 respectively. Bit of mixed results there. Gold at the moment is down $2 at $2,872, and silver still holding up pretty well, $32.80 at the moment on silver, and we are expecting a run on silver in the year ahead or so. So that's still in play. Probably let's say minimum $75 target there for silver. So that's pretty cool. Now we did have obviously 30-day extensions for the Mexico and Canadian tariffs, and of course, basically, they're coming to sense and aligning with Trump on that. Also putting guards, 10,000 soldiers on the Mexican border, more soldiers on the Canadian border, and of course dealing with the fentanyl drug issue as well. So it's a multiple objectives there being achieved by Trump. We've got Beijing retaliates. So Beijing, obviously the last one to get the tariffs on, those are going into play. Now Beijing did retaliate, slapping a 15% tariff on coal and liquefied natural gas imports from the United States, and additional 10% duty on crude oil, agricultural equipment, and automobiles from February the 10th. And of course, Trump has put in Trump has postponed a 25%. Let me just jump through that. Has put a 10% tariff on goods from China, taking effect on Tuesday. So that's already kicked in. China's Commerce Ministry also placed export controls on rare earths. Now, remember that China controls like 95% of rare earths in the world. And you might have seen yesterday that Trump was talking about any deal with Ukraine would get access to Ukraine's rare earths, being one of the few countries with a decent amount of those rare earths. Now, rare earths are pretty much needed in all electronics just about around the world. So just take note of that. It's very, very important for technology age, as we say. The materials covered included tungsten, tellurium, ruthenium, and molybdenum there. Separately, Beijing added Calvin Klein as well, and biotech firm Illumina to its list of unreliable entities. You don't want to be on that list, of course. And initiated an antitrust investigation to Alphabet-owned Alphabet. Retaliatory measures pointed to the start of renewed trade wars between the world's biggest economies. But of course, we'll see how that plays out. Obviously, Trump looking to take in money there. China accounts for a substantial portion of U.S. imports, with any retaliation from Beijing like to further destabilize the global trade. China's US is third biggest trading partner behind Mexico and Canada. Well, it's expected that trade Trump and Chinese President Xi would speak on Tuesday to discuss trade. White House officials said that won't happen. So there we go. That's going to be a bit extended, that part. Now, we're only expecting at least one interest rate cut this year as well, obviously with the tariff on and off again. And we did have Alphabet come in at the end on tech results. So we've had generally some good tech results for this earnings season, right? So that's pretty much it on the stock market. Let's jump over to crypto. Crypto has been quite volatile, but it's still pretty elevated, if you ask me, which is good to see. We've got Unprotected Hex in the chat there. When pumped, we've been holding for years. Says Unprotected. Hey, look, Bitcoin is still up near 98,000. I mean, it's pretty amazing. We're just waiting for that altcoin season, that big rally altcoin season. That's what we're really waiting for. Pump the Wookie up, says Wookie. Hey, good to see you. And definitely smash the likes on the way in for sure. We've got Property View in the house there. Great broadcast. I appreciate that. Big shout out to you. Hope you're doing well out there. Bitcoin there at 98,000, down 3.6%. Bitcoin dominance at 59.21%. So Bitcoin dominance has been going up. Very interesting. We know that in the last bull market cycle, when the altcoin started, the Bitcoin was close to 70% on the dominance. So this is a pretty interesting cycle for dominance. Probably another Blues Clues. The altcoin season is going to come. That's something to look out for. Ethereum at the moment, down 5.25% at 2,730. Man, after such huge volatility, $3,400 all the way down to 2,150. Now at $2,730. It is quite volatile for ETH, but pick up some gains where you can. We know that the Trump Foundation's been picking up Ethereum. In fact, it's the biggest portfolio of the Trump Foundation. There is picking up Ethereum. So that's pretty interesting. That's who they're backing there, and institutional banking does back Ethereum. It's going to have its day in the sun, I'm sure. And when it moves, it's going to be pretty awesome. BNB is down 7.5%, $572. Solana down 4.7% at $206. ADA down 9% almost at 75 cents. Tron there down 2% at 22 cents. XRP down, let's say 6.7% at $2.53. So those are kind of your leaders at the moment. Litecoin as well, down 6% at $101. So there we go. Pretty red day. But nevertheless, Bitcoin is still holding pretty well at 98K. 92 has typically been a very important support line. And of course, we are in February. February is typically a super green month, but we do have special events happening, which is the Trump tariff strategy, right? That's the part of the shock and awe. Now, the shock and awe, of course, is the fact that he's doing executive order after executive order, trying to solve massive problems that liberals and progressives and others around the world have put us into. And so he's trying to dig us out. So let's fingers crossed. A bit of rough love before you get to the golden place or something like that. So pretty cool. That's where we are at the moment. Let's have a quick look. See on Bitcoin. Bitcoin, 98,000. We are below. This is the hourly chart here. So we've had to look at this volatility. I think we're setting up for some nice movements moving ahead. Obviously, we peaked out 102,600, and we have come all the way back down 96,000, back up at 98. So when we pulled back yesterday or so, it was, in fact, how far back was that? Let's have a look. That is a day, 2 days ago, pretty much. We got all the way down to 91,000. So really tested that 92,000 support level, which we've had for some time. And we rallied all the way back to 102,600 and then back down to 96, back up to 98. So the volatility is in play, but still looking very good in my view for our February run. It might be a bit late, might be at the end of the first week or something, but still looking pretty good. Let's have a look at the daily, see how that's going. Let me just reset the chart. And we can see at the moment that we are still around the 50-day moving average. That is the 50-day moving average is now at 98,800. So it's dropped a little bit, about $100 from yesterday, $150 from yesterday. And the 200 moving average is 83,393. It is on Coinbase. So we are slowly moving ahead. I pretty much see everything on track here. I think if we broke 92,000, then it would be a downtrend, right? But I think we've been defending that line quite severely. I mean, look at back here. We defended it back here on the 5th of December, here in the 19th, the 23rd, pretty much the 30th and the 31st of December. We defended it again on the 9th, and then on the 10th of January, we defended it again on the 13th, and now we've defended it again on the 3rd of February. So that 92, approximately plus or minus, 1,000, has been pretty good. And we're still humming around the 50-day. So still feeling very good for our February rally, even if it's a week later than we might have hoped or so. So there we go. Still predicting, 150K by the end of March / early April, at least 150K. So let's see if we can get another game on there. Obviously, we're going to need a bit of settling and a lot of bullish news in the marketplace for that to happen. We are also expecting a lot of capital to continue to flow in, particularly in Q2 this year. That's the words on the street there, that definitely capital is going to be flowing in there. So I think we're going to have an elongated rally because we haven't quite hit there. We haven't got the altcoin season yet. We've just had the Bitcoin rally, right? So let's keep in track on that. Ethereum, let's have a look at Ethereum. Ethereum on the hourly, a bit of volatility as well, up and down, slightly lower lows there, 2,600, but back at 2,725 at the moment on the hourly. Let's jump over to the daily on Ethereum as well, and let's see where we're at there. Let me just reset this, make sure it's reset. That is 2,730. So yesterday we did fall down, man. 2,150. It was crazy, man. If you're lucky to pick up some of that, congratulations. I think it was a really good entry in any case. And we got the 200-day moving average at 3,100, and we got the 50-day moving average at 3,250. So we have got a closing off here. We do need to get higher here. Definitely getting above 2,800 at least, and definitely maybe 3,150 to get above, to get above that. So that would be pretty important if we can get back over that 200-day moving average. Hopefully we won't close out here, right, on the golden cross that we had back here in 20th November. In any case, I think as long as Bitcoin has that rally, Ethereum will bounce out. It might just touch and will bounce out in February. So still looking for a green month in February. So that is pretty much it. That leads us into Pulsechain. So we're going to talk about that, day 634. We got any more comments in the chat? No, we haven't. Leave us any comments that you have in the chat there for sure. So we've got day 634 on Pulsechain. And of course, we've had some interesting developments here with Richard Hart. We're going to talk about that. But at the moment, we've got Pulse at quadruple 0492. The Pulse price is at 49% of the mean sacrifice price. We're down 1.3%. So we're not getting as much volatility, at least on Pulse, compared to the other majors in crypto. PulseX there at quadruple 03. We're at down 6.5% at the 30% of the mean sacrifice price. So these are still pretty heavily discounted. We are waiting for the court results. And of course, they may have been deferred because of the new government, Trump administration, and so on. We've got incentive token is at $1.49, down 10%. So that's a decent day down. And the ratios dropped quite a bit. We were up at 34,000. We're now at 30,000 and a half. And the HEX there at 1.13 cents, down 9.5%. EHEX at 1900ths of a penny, only down very slightly from yesterday. And so the combined price is at 1.32 cents there. So some nice entry here for HEX, getting into HEX at the moment. Gas prices have always been elevated. Right now, they are insane. Look at this, 14 million on the beats here on Pulsechain. 20 cents for a Pulsechain swap. Some crazy stuff. And of course, it does look like Richard Hart's new platform. Richard, I call it Richard 2.0, launching these kind of meme coin platforms. It does spike volume and elevates volume. It's definitely additional there to the underlying protocols that are on Pulsechain. 20 cents at the moment. That's pretty fit there. And of course, this doesn't even include Magic Carpet Ride or the Maker Theory, PDI Maker Theory. So are we going to have layers upon layers, like a layer cake? Think of Pulsechain like a layer cake, and Richard Hart 2.0 adding some layers to it as we go. So that's pretty interesting stuff happening there. We're only 3.9 times cheaper than Ethereum, and Ethereum at the moment is 1 Gwei apparently. 1 Gwei on Ethereum, come on. That's pretty crazy. So if you're doing some Zen miners, it's a good day to do Zen miners when you got 1 Gwei, right? Because it's pretty cheap. And of course, ending hex miners on Ethereum is very nice at the moment because it's only 1 Gwei. If you've got a miner that you had to end, it's lucky you come out at the right time, right place. Now the bridge at the moment, 113.5 million. So we're down about 5 million, I think, from yesterday alone. So down 5 million there at the bridge. Yeah, we'll just have to keep a lookout for this and see where we go from here. All right, so let's jump into Richard Hart. Richard Hart's been posting out stuff on Pulsechain. Now he's posting one of these tokens that's been launched on his new platform, right? Was it Pump project there? Pumpity Pump. I think it's Pump, isn't it? Pump.tires, that's the one. Pump.tires. Now, some people are confused about this. Now, obviously, this is pretty speculative stuff, right? So if you're not into speculative stuff, it's not really a place for you to play. I'll just keep away from it, to be honest. But what it is doing is it's adding a lot of tokens to the DEX screener, right? So this is Pulsechain on DEX screener. We can see it's adding a ton of tokens on here. You'll see a lot of them only have like 2 hours, 1 hour. Some of these tokens would be launched on other platforms, but most of them are dominating from Pump Tires. And what it's done is it's elevated the 24-hour volume, right? You know, we were typically doing between 25 and maybe 65, 80 on a very good day. But let's say around 25 to 45 million with just normal protocol launchings and just the system state copy tokens, the PRCs that were copied over at the fork on the 10th of May last year. But now, because of Pump Tires, we've got all this pumping. Now, it does turn out that Richard, whoever's running this platform, aka, it gets most of the tokens, and it has to reach something like 30,000 market cap or something before it floats over to DEX screener. But a lot of them are getting sold off, so just be careful out there with these things here on Pump.tires. Definitely not something I suggest playing with unless you're into that sort of gambling, pumpy type of thing. It's up to you what you do, obviously. But just we are getting a lot of them just piling on to DEX screener now. It's changed the whole lineup board, isn't it? So there's just tons of them. Some of them also have similar names as existing tokens on Pulsechain. So just be careful what you're looking at there. You can tell by the time frame that PulseX here is not really PulseX, so to speak. So just take that into account. So yeah, they're really dominating. Look at that, all over the place. These tokens are filtered through, and a lot of people are just making up their own tokens. Now, this is the most wanted one. This is the one that Richard's posting, and so it's got some ridiculous market cap and liquidity is 550. This is probably one of the few charts that's actually holding up pretty well. So just take note. Try to understand what's going on here before you start playing around with between DEX screener and Pump.tires, right? Which is this platform that Richard has promoted pretty much, which is why I used to call him Richard Hart 2.0 because there's a lot of meme coins and stuff on there. So yeah, there we go. Day 3, Solana Bros, you can swap for Ethereum and bridge Pulsechain over. And of course, he's posting that most wanted token there, which is the one we just showed you on DEX screener. This one here, right? This most wanted one. So pretty interesting there. We've had some more stuff as well coming out here from Richard. So, oh man, he's just put out a whole ton of stuff. For some reason, people haven't wrote free books. So he's talking about his history there and bad tokens. There's no one. This was 15 minutes ago, so this is hot off the press. Things no one actually cares about. XRP was down for 30 minutes today. Other things are often down as well. No one actually cares about reliability or uptime. Hex, Pulse, PulseX incentive, and Pump Tires now. So he's promoting Pump Tires have never been down. People only pretend to care about security and robustness there. So that's from Richard. 9 minutes ago, I heard a rumor that over 300 million a year gets stolen from just one exchange in a year, just from scammers impersonating the users of their exchange. I have a solution. Make the users know they own their keys. Bitcoin was invented to remove middlemen, not your keys, not your coins. And Hex, Pulse, PulseX incentive, and Pump Tires now. He's adding that in. There's no email, phone, or address to impersonate. It's just you and your keys. You are the code. So that's from Richard as well. And finally, 5 minutes ago, if people don't actually care about the security or robustness, They don't care to even know their own keys. What do they care about? Potential Pulsechain and Signum. Basically, they aren't even listed anywhere. Vibrant, passionate communities built on real cyberpunk fundamentals there. So there we are. There's a lot of stuff coming up from Richard there at the moment. So it's definitely adding. Think of a layer cake. You got the copies on Pulsechain from the Ethereum fork, and on the 10th of May last year, and then you've also now you got Pump Tires, which he's actively promoting, which is just full of tokens being launched. So it's got to create coin. Everybody can create their own coin. It's got how it works at the top, and it's here on Pump.Tires. Like I say, very speculative thing, and so you got to take it with what it is, right? I know some people who like speculative stuff are launching on this platform and all sorts of stuff. There are different categories, so you can, what's trading the most, so you can switch around different categories. Shows you stuff that's different stuff there. But once again, it's speculative. So that is pretty interesting. From there, let's jump out and have a look. Typically, I was normally talking about this. So 24-hour volume, Pulsechain 140 million because of this new platform that Richard's launched there. 560,000 transactions, and the gas price is obviously elevated. As the chain is used more, it's going to cost more, right? That's pretty much it. So this looks like the next layer on the cake. Probably once Ethereum has its run, we might see that Magic Carp ride get played into there, or could get played into collateralizing P Maker DAI or something like that. So we should see how many layers of the cake is Richard Hart going to put onto Pulsechain. Now the other thing is we've got all these tokens here. I'm just going to jump through some of these because I want to get through to some of the ones that have been around for a while. So it looks like Jupiter's been around for 4 months. That's doing down -3%. Let's have a look to see with any of these. 9mm, the exchange. So 9mm is the number 2 exchange on Pulsechain. It's up 2.7%. It's been around for 8 months. Let's see what anything else has been around for very long. Most of these now that are dominating the top list are from that platform. So Pump.Tires there. That's dominating with these trades. Now you have to check the volumes as well, because they have to typically reach 30,000, I think, before they get loaded on to the DEX, load onto Pulsex there, and show up on Dex Screener. So that's pretty interesting. Let's jump over to ALGO. Now, obviously, we talked about PDAI. We've talked about that lately. So PDAI is coming. PUSD is coming, and so is ALGO coin. So we don't know the exact time frame. We're being very cautious there. It's the one thing with Jacob that we never do know, but we know that he signaled about a week ago that this is moving forward, and you back him, and he's going to deliver. So very excited about this. We've had the docs updated. I've talked about that. Now, if you do want to participate in this, the link is in the video description. There are two bonuses you can get for this. I think this is going to be one of the biggest ecosystems on Pulsechain, along with Mafia Game, right? So Jacob has launched Mafia Game. It is the #1 GameFi, #1 metaverse, and of course the first metaverse, and also the #1 NFT marketplace on Pulsechain. And he's now going to go for the DeFi title as well, with the best stablecoin, which will actually be pegged to $1 based on the testnet version. It was worked extremely successful. We see the liquidity forks and the Coast ones always depegged. That's fine. It offers arbitrage opportunities, but some people do want a solid peg. And looks like Pulse USD, which has a fantastic brand name, could deliver that outcome. And also with the algo, could offer scalability, right? Because it's got unlimited potential to scale, and therefore that's bullish for Pulsechain too. You also earn in the platform by providing capital for the stability miner, which keeps that peg in play, and it has its natural deflation, inflation tokenomics as well. And you also there's the flex token, which means that you get rewarded for any action you do on it. So we're pretty hyper excited about this. It could be integrated into the Mafia casino family of Jacob's ecosystem. So there's lots of potential for that, including risk management and leverage and things like that. So pretty exciting. Now, their docs are being refreshed. So the docs have been refreshed there. And I think this is going to continually be updated. So keep a look out there, particularly the platform features. They'll probably be continue to be updated because I think they're empty at the moment. So definitely a lot of upside there. Now, if you haven't checked this out, there are 2 bonuses. Now, this is not a sacrifice like normal. We know that 50 to 75% of the capital raised is going straight back into the protocol day one, not waiting for a mystical suddenly pump the chart later on, but actually the capital's going in for the liquidity pools for the pairs that have to be set up, like PUSD, ALGO, wrap PUSD, or at least Flex token, and of course any link to USDL, which is going to be the backing for PUSD as far as we know. So very, very exciting. Now there are 2 bonuses for this. So you do have to be patient with the time frame, and of course we are a little bit unclear with the capital target. It's typically been $1 million, but Jacob may bring capital in from other avenues, so that's definitely possible to get this going. So very excited about this. So if you want to participate, the link's in the video description. There are 2 bonuses: the referral bonus, which is in the description. You get a 19% bonus there, and all you have to do is send capital to this address here. That's the sacrifice address. Accepted tokens are on a Pulsechain and Ethereum. You can use any of these tokens here, and simply you just send it to that address, and it will just tag your address there. And of course, if you use the referral program in the video description, you'll get a 90% bonus. Now, just to show you how this works quickly, before we move on to the Mafia update, let's go to somebody that's just got over $1,000 here. So this one here, this account here, number 119, would have it used a 1.19%, a 19% referral. You definitely want to use that because you're getting 9% for free, as opposed to the one below. Look, the one below did not use a referral code, so they missed out on 19%. That makes no sense in crypto. You want to get all the freebies you can, and so they did do $1,000 in sacrifice, and they ended up getting the second bonus, which is called Bonus X, right? Which you can get up to a 2x bonus. That's based on a random number generator. They happened to get a 1.54 multiplier, and so that ended up giving them $1,570 for the sacrifice. And for every dollar sacrifice, they get 20 ALGO, 200 Flex, and 0.01 wrap PUSD tokens, which are all platform tokens, right? And you can see the allocation they got there. So they got more of those tokens. Whereas this one here actually used the referral code 19%, which is the links in the video description. And they ended up only having $800 or so, and they ended up getting free money there up to 1,026. So they outdid the person down here. They ended up getting a random number generator because they got over $1,000. They got that second bonus, Bonus X, and they got a really good one, 1.84. That's very high. And so they ended up with $1,888. So they put in 800, and they ended up with more than the person that put 1,000, who got $1,570 for their full credit with those bonuses. And then, of course, they got more tokens, right? Which you can see there. So pretty easy to do. So use the link in the video description. Do your due diligence, of course. Read the docs. Check out my video series I did with Jacob about a year ago on this. Obviously, it's been just sitting there waiting for people to contribute, but now it is starting to move again. So join up to the Telegram as well. Once again, just copy the address, use any of those tokens there, and contribute once you're ready, once you're happy with that. But I have got a video series, like 8 videos on this channel. Just look up PUSD ALGO for that on the channel, and you'll be able to find those. Very cool. And looks like that someone's definitely contributed overnight because it's gone up a bit from yesterday. So definitely check that out. And of course, there's the docs if you want to learn a lot more in addition to the videos on this channel. All right, so that's pretty cool. Now, obviously, another one of Jacob's projects is Pulse Mafia. This is ticking away quite nicely. We're obviously through different phases on this game. So let's have a quick look at the Wikipedia as well. So the Wikipedia here. Oh, we've had some color changes. Oh, this has changed. Oh my, it's gone yellow. What the heck? We got open for business. This is the current phase that we're in at the moment. Roulettes have already gone live. Slot machines are in development. So that's next. And then after that, we've got stage 2. It goes live together with pre-ranking update and narcotics. And so this is going, so when we get to pre-ranking, we're going to have narcotics warehouse and booze warehouse as well. So that's pretty interesting. And things have moved around a lot here. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. This is all different. So booze warehouse, then we get to stage 3, other businesses, bank, car crushers, lottery hall, jackpot hall, and then stage 4 goes live together with the game launch, gun store, hospital, and bullet factory. So that's coming up a bit later. So there we go. That's moved around. Gun store was actually number 2, and it's number 2. Now it's moved to number 4 there. So that's pretty interesting. And then we're going to pre-ranking and raid spots, communication, and then official launch. So let's see how we get on there. We're also waiting for the bullets and the health to launch. Like I said, with PUSD ALGO is going to have a V3 DEX in it. And so these are probably going to be tradable on there too. You watch. It's going to be pretty interesting. Probably going to be good chance, you know, the PUSD ALGO platform could be bigger, the second biggest DEX, and therefore get free volume through Batias and PortalX and things like that. You know, DEX aggregators ticking away there. I'm just having a look quickly through some of the other stuff here. See if there's anything else I can see straight off the bat that's new. So yeah, there we go. Change the colors, yellow, bright yellow. Now we have got, let's quickly go through this. We've got 1,151 live players, 28 crime families, 7.77 billion pulse in the vault. And how big is the vault? Let's have a quick look at that. This is just on Pulsechain, of course. $382,000. So, you know, if Pulse does a 3x, we're up at $1 million, right? It's pretty exciting. And then if we get that PUSD ALGO integration, anything like that, man, it could really hyper pump, right? Suddenly you're into multi-million-dollar ecosystem. I'm very excited where that could head. Looking at the businesses, the only thing that we've got at the moment, as I said, is the casinos operating, and they're ticking away there at the moment. So there's looks like there's 5 of them open for business on the Pulsechain side. And what else? The maps, people are building out, of course, and developing on the maps. That's pretty much it at the moment. So those are ticking away on that. And then the games, the families here, we see that the accuser from the directorate has got 2 of the 5 spots at the moment. And the gearheads are not yet qualified. That may just be a matter of kicking some family members and things like that. So we'll keep a lookout for that. Otherwise, Compass Points and Oasis Outfit both got the other ticks there for access to the vault. So those green shields are access to the vault on the Mafia game. So that's going to bring us to TitanX. Let's see who else has jumped in. We've got some more comments. Wookie says, did you see the David Sachs press release today? Not much in it, says Wookie. On the crypto digital, no, I did not see that. But I did. He was asked, I believe, whether there's going to be a crypto fund, and he just smiled and winked. So I think there's more coming for that, Wookie. I think that's probably a bit of a teaser there. Susie Q says, hi, Wonderful Superman. Good to see you. Lots of hugs and kisses. A big shout out there, Susie. Hope you're doing well, and I appreciate that a lot. Thank you so much. All right. Yeah, so TitanX here had a good day yesterday, and held up when Pulsechain, when the markets were going down. TitanX did not go down relative to ETH. I mean, it went down in US dollars because ETH was going down. But it's pretty crazy at the moment. Of course, we had that TitanX rally. It's almost been completely sold off, and we're been defending this line around 603,000 on TitanX. Currently at 3,400. But what I'm really watching is the ETH ratio, and you can see that actually is doing pretty good. In fact, in the last couple of hours, it's actually pumped. 3 hours ago, it actually pumped to 1250. With how many zeros? 9 zeros. So that's very, very cool. That's on the hourly there, and you can see a little uptrend here on the hourly. It's a little subtle uptrend going. Moving to the 4 hourly on TitanX, that's a little pump there. Look at that, nice. I really like seeing what. Now, what we want to do is definitely get over 1,300, and then of course we want to get over 1,500, right? So we want to start zigzagging the uptrend, right, against Ethereum, as opposed to US dollar price, because obviously Ethereum has pulled back down to 2750. In US dollar price. So this is very interesting. We know that we've got the Omni chain is about to launch. It's got to be imminent for base chain for TitanX. And of course, the Omni chain version of TitanX is called X28. That's expected to go multi-chain. That means that some of the TitanX supply is going to be removed off Ethereum onto other chains. And so TitanX is going to get rarer and rarer. It's not duplicating. That would be a multi-chain strategy, duplication, but it's not doing that. It's just taking the Ethereum supply and then spreading it across other chains. It's omni-chain, and it's going to use layer 0 technology. So that's where we're heading with this. So it's a perfect time to enter into TitanX X28 right now after that pullback and with the roadmap ahead. Now here's X28. That is the counterpart. Let's have a look at the supply of X28. This is what's going omni-chain. We can see that on the stats here, there's 2.2 trillion X28. So basically a 2.2 trillion TitanX. You use that interchangeably. And look how much is burned through this X28. Just trillions of it. 12.7, 4.1, massive amount burned through there. Beautiful. And the buy and burn has got a good amount in there as well. So 460, almost half a trillion TitanX sitting in the buy and burn. Pretty powerful. Now, remember, everything that gets transformed over here on the transform from TitanX to X28, 50% gets burned. So 50% of the TitanX gets burned. So when the Omni-chain bridge opens up, and of course they're going to base chain first, that could be huge for the cycling through of TitanX into X28, and then over the bridge that gets ciphered out. So you burn 50% on chain on Ethereum, and then you lock a whole ton of supply over on the other chains. It's a double hit. Do you guys see it? Double hit there, and it's going to be pretty interesting to see that double play on deflation, and therefore we could truly move to hyperdeflation and get days where we got half a trillion deflation days in the TitanX. So that'd be pretty interesting to see that play out. Now, let's quickly look at TitanX supply just before we move on. Supply now is it's just gone below 99 trillion, so we're at 98.977 trillion there. How about that? That's cool. I like that. And the buy and burn there is the burned amount's gone 125.2 trillion is burned. So we're well beyond halfway, and that maybe the base chain, the Omni-chain move hyper deflates this, right? So we've been deflating, but trying to get to that real hyper deflation, and this is going to be exciting. Now, we're not just expecting X28 to do it all. We are expecting potentially Shogun, potentially Titan Farms, and other protocols to be launching on base chain. And of course, that's going to help drag in X28 over to other chains. So you're taking the base token and also having second layer protocols launching on base chain. It could be pretty fun over there. And we know that the dude and many other developers are looking to do some really cool stuff over on base chain and attract the influencers. We also know the LP guys in TitanX also know a lot of the community over in base chain, and are going to try and attract attention there as well, grabbing potentially tens of thousands of users to jump on to some of the new chains. So some of the big influencers are always aware. So we're going to be watching all that stuff. You got to do the tokenomics, you got to do the influencers and the communities, and you match those together, and you've got a fire, right? You got fire. So we're on the eminently for that. So we should get a move to base chain this week. So excited about that. It was supposed to be like last weekend, but I think it will probably be this week sometime, and it's probably a good thing given the fact that we had that big retrace after the tariffs there. So that's kind of where we're at the moment. Hyper and Hydra are both just about all minted out. So that's going to be really interesting coming up next weekend. Keep a lookout for that. This is all getting bullish for TitanX, folks. Volt there are looking pretty solid as well, only down 1.3%. It's obviously got Volt staking coming. That's pretty much in the third and final audit, and that's pretty imminent to launch. And then we've also got Bitcoin Genie coming up, which I'm very hyper excited for as well. And then, of course, Morpheus doing pretty well there. We're looking for some more stuff around DEXs there with Brandon. What else we got going on here? Tink Farms, we were looking for more farms on base chain, on Pulsechain around that, and any mystery project coming from Eric. And that's going to be fun too. Let me jump down through some of these. We've had recently, the last two projects launched was Bonfire and Ascendance, and benefiting both X28 and TitanX. Bonfire benefiting X28 and Ascendance there benefiting Tink Farms. So the first project outside of Tink Farms itself, or Titan Farms itself, using Tink. So that's pretty cool. The big one, of course, so we've got Omni-chain coming. We've got these Titan Farms coming. We've got obviously Volt staking and Volt and Bitcoin Genie coming. But we've got this Ouroboros big lending platform coming, right? And that could be a big supply sync for a lot of tokens in TitanX as well. And the USDX stablecoin coming, which would be hugely supportive for the TitanX ecosystem. That's an open platform, so it's going to take non-TitanX tokens as well. So I think they're starting off with TitanX and DragonX, and then moving on to Ethereum, etc., etc. So it really is cool having an open system. Pretty neat. Bitcoin Genie, of course, is coming. I think this is going to be a game changer potentially. It is looking very exciting. I'm going to be talking about that a lot coming up. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be bullish for Volt as well. Both the Volt staking and Bitcoin Genie benefiting Volt. And Volt is burning off. Volt is burning off. In fact, let's have a look how much Volt is burning off at the moment. Let's go here. Let's have a look at that supply. Bam, bam. 43.7% is now burnt off. There's only 591 million tokens. That's not a lot, especially when you've got Volt staking coming and you've got Bitcoin Genie. Now the Treasury Vault here is 11 million in there, so it's on the lower side, but the I think it's the fourth biggest wallet is the liquidity wallet, and that has about 5% of supply. So that tops up their treasury vault, pretty much every 24 hours or so. So that's pretty neat. So it's still got a lot of legs to go with there as well. So 3 big pillars for Vault at the moment, and more to come this year. So pretty exciting. Now, I think that's some of the highlights there. I'm also pretty excited about Taurus coming up. So we'll keep a lookout for that too. That's cryptographics, and it's got some cool mechanisms there for play out. So pretty exciting. That is all coming down the line. Let's see. I think that's it for the day. 40 minutes on the live. Not bad. And we got Tintop in the house there. What's up, Tintop? And what's up, Hexkins? Big shout out there. Hope you're enjoying yourself. Yeah, so exciting times ahead. We're still going to get this green month. Normally, February is green. Are we going to get that altcoin season taking off? Maybe we have a rough start for the first week of February, and then it's game on after that. But I'm excited. We're also expecting X1 chain with Zen out in the Q1. So we should get some burn parties and things like that coming out. I'm very excited. That's going to be the first fork of Solana. So let's not muck around with that. Obviously, that's a big chain to fork. So excited about where that will go. Yeah, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy fun. Now, obviously, Trump is moving at a shock and awe pace. He is obviously today he's moved on to the UN, pulling out a lot of the UN stuff. The UN is pretty utterly corrupt. I think we can all agree. It's done a terrible job. It's empowering the terrorist countries to take over the UN. It's just a terrible place. It's supposed to be helping the poor and, of course, benefiting the world with peace. Those are the 2 main things the UN should be doing, right? Peace and helping the poor. But instead, it's got a whole ton of radical ideological positions, and it's wrecking countries, particularly the West, wrecking the West as well. So it's a good thing to see Trump pull out of all that. What's the other thing? Trump is obviously yesterday making a sovereign wealth fund, and today, of course, talked about the digital strategy there. I haven't actually looked at that, so that's why I haven't talked about it. Probably talk about that tomorrow. But we do believe that the crypto Bitcoin fund will come to the States, so we'll keep a lookout for that too. Like I say, he did give a bit of a wink there. Yeah, pretty exciting. That's David Sachs. Yeah, gave a bit of a wink, didn't he, Wookie? So that's kind of the stuff that we're kind of seeing at the moment, moving fast. Now, Trump is trying to solve the wars. So he's trying to solve the Ukraine-Russia war. I think we'll see something on that in the next couple of days based on Trump's comments. He's obviously got Netanyahu there from Israel trying to solve the Gaza issue and decades of war and, de-radicalize the Gaza and move to world peace. Expand the Abraham Accords in the Middle East. So, creating world peace is very important. Reorganizing the crimes in the world, so not just wars but crimes. Dealing with the cartels, the drug trade. So he's definitely doing that. Dealing with the borders and violent crime, sexual crime in the United States. Very important. Also dealing with the labor markets, undermining labor markets with illegal immigrants and wages and things like that. And so it's a big deal. You imagine you're in a town, you want to get a job, but you can't because you got all these people working under a legal wage, right? And so you basically stuff. So there's a lot of that sort of stuff. It's going to tie all that up. And there are legal pathways to immigration. America typically takes over 1 million people a year because everyone wants to go there, right? So they're probably going to have to kick out maybe 20, 25 million people. Wouldn't be surprised. You got to remember Obama kicked out 12 million. So just remember that. So there is precedent for this sort of stuff, and we'll probably see that ramp up as well in the United States. But here's the big kicker in the shock and awe. This is what I expect to see. So they're also doing with the Dodge. They're getting rid of corruption. The corruption through US aid is ginormous. It operates as its own little government state. They think they're their own government and stuff. It is riddled full of corruption. And of course, they shut that down at the moment. And it's the stuff in there. The items are just terrible. What are the kickbacks? Then look who's kicking back. What politicians are reaping the rewards there. Obviously, it's a bit of a Democrat slush fund. They're also gutting the deep state. That's going to be, they're already going very fast, but there's a lot to do there. We already saw secret videos of people wanting to undermine the Trump organizations saying they're going to slow ball and do lots of strategies and stuff like that. Those have been exposed recently. So the deep state is going to be a bit of a work. They're going to downsize the government dramatically and radically. They're probably going to shift things around. They're probably going to replace a lot of people with people they can trust, particularly moderate liberals, libertarians, conservatives, etc. I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot more of that. But the world's, United States is going to become safer. It's going to become more prosperous. And talking about prosperity, this is what I'm expecting to see with the things like the sovereign wealth fund that Trump's talked about. You see all the tech company guys and big fund guys that he's been pulling into the White House. I really think that he's going to really build the infrastructure the U.S. needs. Infrastructure in the U.S. is very tired and very old. The so-called bipartisan agreement last time was just a fraudulent document. A lot of it went to like unions and stuff like that. It's just a ridiculous thing. But I think he's actually going to get things done. So this is what I expect people to see over the next 4 years: a safer America. By a long shot, like a dramatically safer. You're not going to have people executed on the street and things like that we've seen. And a safer place for women. It's going to be very important. It's going to be a more prosperous place. We're going to see infrastructure get built. And here's the other thing. I think we're going to see a lot of high-tech industries boom in the US, as well as middle manufacturing. Definitely a strong move to AI and automation and bots. That's definitely going to be that. And also the space race. We're going to see a lot of stuff happening around there. I think we're going to see a lot of incredible buildings and prosperity in the United States. It's going to be something that people have never seen before. And people within that tech, even if they were anti-Trump, in the next couple of years, they're going to go, who on earth built this? We never thought this was going to get built. We never thought this was going to get done, and it's going to be done. We already see that sort of behavior in North Carolina and Ohio, places like that, where they've had terrible storms and floods and things like that, fires. And, the Biden administration didn't do anything. In fact, they ignored them intentionally. And now the Trump administration is actually on the ground, got trucks and diggers and cleaning up trains, cleaning up rivers straight away. So we're going to see something we've never seen before. It's going to be absolutely incredible. And we're going to see America get some great things built over there. It is going to be so positive, secure, prosperous. And meanwhile, he's also going to deal with the world. He's going to get rid of discrimination and apartheid, things like DEI. He's getting rid of all that. That's all just another form of apartheid and racism. He's going to get rid of all that stuff and back to common sense. He's going to protect children. Children have been under absolute affliction from progressives, poor kids, and of course they're being robbed sometimes of their physicality, sometimes their emotional stability, and sometimes their future, and sometimes all of it, right? So protecting the children is a big, big move, and Trump's doing a great job there. So all in all, I think it's going to be a wonderful place, and people are going to still have their freedom to do what they want. But I think the United States is going to be absolutely, we're going to see some stuff built and done over there the next 4 years. It's going to be absolutely wonderful. We're also going to see Congress come out with new laws. So we've seen a lot of executive orders from Trump. We're going to move to see Congress start to deliver some key things in that whole view. It's going to be pretty awesome. We may even see, we're obviously going to see southern border, northern border, quite the military build up there. They're going to tighten it up. Pretty much that's already locked down already with the military and the homeland security and all the border stuff there. So that's going pretty good. It's going to be a great place to live. It's going to be wonderful. And good luck if you're in America. We're down in New Zealand. We have absolute idiots running our countries for decades now. These guys are morons, absolute morons. And they just go from bad to worse in many ways. So we're hoping the Trump effect benefits us because they're trying to enslave us here and do apartheid and all sorts of crazy stuff. We're in one of the most beautiful countries in the world, New Zealand. But, societies are made by people and they can make them hellish. And that's what they're kind of doing to many degrees. So fingers crossed the Trump effect gets to New Zealand. Might take 12 months to have some effect, but we're looking forward to it. Freedom, safety, prosperity, and that's what we want, right? So fingers crossed. And I think that's going to set us up for a hell of a crypto bull run. I think the bull run's going to be absolutely glorious. So I hope you guys enjoyed that one. Trump shock and awe is going to be beautiful. Bitcoin is going to continue to rally with its up and downs, of course, as Trump repositions the U.S. economy and the global setup. Pulsechain is going to get that layered cake, right? Richard Hart is layering the cake, and Pulsechain is going to be glorious too. We're going to see some things on Pulsechain, just like Trump is doing for the U.S. we're going to see Richard Hart do for Pulsechain. And of course, we are looking forward to that court case results and the SEC potentially as the insurance policy dropping court cases like Richard's one. And of course, TitanX having its day in the sun, doing the frontier of what I call DeFi 3.0. It's going to be fun to see TitanX really flourish that way with a lot of great devs in there. If you like that sort of thing, it's going to be really cool. All right, definitely. This is my wrap up now. I'll catch you guys later. Don't forget to join Discord. Links in the video description. If you want to join Strategy Cup, $35 a month. Links in the video description for that. If you want to join, if you want to participate in PUSD ALGO, which I think is going to be one of Jacob's pretty much flagship project, along with Mafia and other things, get in on that. It's going to be huge, huge addition. Maybe he ends up being the number 2 DEX on Pulsechain as well, leveraging off the Mafia success. It's going to be pretty fun there. All right, take care. I'll catch you on the next one. Onwards and upwards. And yeah, catch you on the next stream. Bye for now.